What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Tatted Up X, and this is Ink Therapy. Today, we have the privilege of interviewing the lovely Sebrina Pham. Her Instagram is at Sebrina Pham, SebrinaPham. Sebrina is located in Oakland, California, and has been tattooing for a little over 4 years. Let's get into it. Just quick shout out to some of our sponsors. Bangin' Candles. I have my super cute mint mojito banging candle made by an awesome tattoo artist, Bang Ink. Go check her page out as well. And also Dark Skin Tattoo Tips. Shout out to that page, a really great informational resource for those of you who are in the tattoo industry, clients and collectors alike as well. So go check those out. Dark Skin Tattoo Tips and Banging Candles. So, Seb, we're gonna get right into it.
Sweet, sounds good.
Tell me a little bit about your tattoo journey. And we know you've been tattooing a little bit around 4 years. How'd you get
started? Okay, so I've been in and out on like telling my full story or not, but so I started with a mentorship, but not really. It's kind of like they handed me a machine and said like, just go for it. And so I ended up kind of like self-teaching myself. So I had teachers, but a lot of the times it was me kind of playing with my own techniques and learning from others and then kind of just going from there. I had an apprenticeship that I got from a friend, but it didn't work out super well. Like me and the dude kept butting heads. We just didn't get along. Like we had very different ideals, and like I'm a really like headstrong like woman, and I feel like that was like annoying. And after about a year of like, I worked with him for about 3 months, but after about a year, I found my current mentor, which is Rocio at Diving Swallow Tattoo. And she's really big on upping the like queer POC, like female tattoo community. And so when she met me, she was like, oh, you're a hustler. Like, I love that you like have been doing this by yourself for hella long, da, da, da. And she was like, I want to take you in and I'll teach you like how to be like regulate it in a shop, you know? So she helped me out a lot, and yeah, very thankful for her and that little journey I had.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's so interesting. I've never actually considered the impact on the type of mentor that you have during your apprenticeship. I think that a lot of us just focus solely on the apprenticeship journey and not really like the people who played a major role in it. And I do think that that's, that can be really influential. Like how you said that
Totally.
the first person you had, y'all were butting heads, just not saying eye to eye. Maybe he was a little bit intimidated by your, by your ability to be very frank, straightforward,
For
and
sure.
And then you were able to make a transition into where you are now, and that's like a big relief, and also feels like that was probably the type of thing that you needed in order to grow to get where you are now and where you're going to be in a couple of years. So I think that's really important for us to highlight that. I think maybe what we're starting to see is people need to be putting a little bit more thought into
I love it.
Who they're choosing, to do apprenticeships under. I don't know, what do you think about that? I think that I've seen a lot of tattoo artists kind of get this feeling of desperation, like I'll just take anybody and anywhere because I need to get in,
Totally.
But if we were to kind of back up a little bit, slow down, analyze and reevaluate the type of space that we want to be in, maybe, do you think that would affect the art? Do you think that would affect
yeah, no, 100%. Like I worked in a pretty much femme dominated tattoo shop. I'm currently in a private studio, but before I was at that shop, and everyone had like almost like kind of sexual harassment, sexual abuse story from like male mentors who were like maybe withholding resources or like opportunities unless they had sex with them, or like had like did like certain things, like with my first mentor, like, God bless his soul, I'm not gonna like put him out there, but like he wanted me and my friend to be apprentices because he wanted like good looking girls to like drag people in. He never checked my portfolio. He didn't check if I could draw. He was just like, I just want some girls who are like young and cute to bring in people. It's, girl, it was ridiculous. I was
What?
hella mad when I heard it. I was like, yeah, it shit's wild, honestly. It's
I
just wild when things come out of people's mouths, you know?
honestly, no, it is. And I appreciate your transparency so much because I'm not even sure that most people would even, reveal those type of experiences, out of fear of, damaging,
Mm-hmm.
the, branding of, the tattoo industry,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, the
Right.
reputation. But it's so important to call this
Mm-hmm.
out. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, it goes back to what we were kind of hinting towards just a second ago. Like, if this type of thing was not occurring in these spaces, what other sort of like positive things would be
Mm-hmm.
able to manifest in these spaces? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
wasting your time trying to have sex with, your apprentice or, someone who works in your shop, or just trying to find girls who are cute, what
Mm-hmm.
sort of like awesome time could you have used instead? Like, you could have spent all that energy and time like having, some sort of like intense art study,
Totally.
where people are like actually growing and learn. Or even, how about this, spending time working on your marketing strategy, that
Mm-hmm.
people are just drawn to you and you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
go out and seek a certain type of person that you think is going to
Totally.
bring a certain client.
Mm-hmm.
A hot
Mm-hmm.
ass mess is what that sounds like.
Honestly, honestly.
But I'm surprised, and I honestly think that that's happening all
Mm-hmm.
in shops all over the world.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge attack on women, and especially like Black women. And like, I just feel like a lot of people constantly are like, hey, like, I'm gonna use my power or privilege to abuse these people. But it's like, dude, no, you're only doing that because you're intimidated, and you understand that these people are powerful. And that's why you're like, oh, like, I'm gonna be a fucking weirdo and be like, and do all this weird stuff, But
Yeah.
I digress.
That's so funny that you say that they're weirdos, because that it's honestly the weirdos, or the most, rather this, I'm saying it backwards. It's honestly the most powerful people who will do the weirdest shit, like,
Right.
honestly. And I'm just like, it's so interesting that you have this position of power and you choose to use it in this way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some crazy stories, so I can definitely understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you're in a private studio right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself going back to a shop, or are you loving, this sense of independence that you're getting from being by yourself? Or do you see yourself, going back to environments to be surrounded by other creative women? Or tell me about your future plans.
So the future plan is, okay, I would love to go back to a shop. Honestly, it's like super easy. I love people and I love how easy everything's set up for you. But right now I'm kind of on this journey where I want to create my own space, and I want to create a space that's all inclusive. So I want to be able to tattoo here, but I also want to create resources. So I need a place that I can teach artists and other like marginalized people that how we can make money, how we can market, how we can get into the art field, like especially like women and like people of color. It's just like there's so many, and queer people, and like there's just so many things that I need to do that I can't just do in a shop right now. Like maybe in the future I'll have my own shop, and that's the only time I'll probably be in a shop again. But for now, I would like to expand. I'm just feeling the like expansion energy, and I need some, I guess, freedom to be with my community, if that makes sense.
For sure. No, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm loving hearing from you, your priorities around inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the tattoo industry is going under some major fucking changes right now, as far
Mm-hmm.
as inclusion and equity go, diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like it's it's too much work, because when I'm as someone who works, in this industry as well, someone who works with the Dark Skin Tattoo Tips page.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Rose and I started that, and
Yeah, which is dope.
shout out to Angel, yes, she
Mm-hmm.
actually is the one who started it first, and then
Okay.
joined in on it because she wanted the people who were running it to reflect,
Mm-hmm.
the communities that they were,
Totally, totally.
you know,
Good luck. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Smart woman.
Uh-huh.
And so, we often hear it's just so much. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
things. There's so many groups,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't always know what to say, and it's just a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of work, but like imagine living through it, you know? So I'm kind of like, like I'm kind of like, yo, like there are nights, there are nights where I'm like, dude, I just wish that I didn't care and I was so ignorant and stuff like that. But like you get to like live this life and you can maybe if you're like a privileged person, you can like sit back and be like, I don't have to worry about like certain things anymore, and it's not fair. You don't get to do that. Like it is a lot of work though. I'm not gonna act like it's it's a day in the park or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not alone. You're
Mm,
not alone. People care. Like people care and people are willing to like walk this road with you.
okay.
And so it's going to be easier. So if you need to take a step back,
Right.
someone else can come in, like so I understand.
What you were just saying about, a community, like having
Mhm.
you need to be around that community. I think it does take a
Totally.
lot of weight off of just you.
Totally. Totally.
Also, it can also energize you because you're having, all these energy exchanges with people who are thinking,
Mhm.
very similarly. Um, so yeah, 100%. It's a lot of work, but I also think, we can agree on it's rewarding work.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
It's real shit. It is real. It's a lot of fucking work.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
constant work that you have to do every single day of your life, but it is very
Mhm.
rewarding. And just like Seb said, you don't have to do it alone. So I
Mhm.
appreciate
Mhm.
mentioning that. I want to shift gears a little bit and go back to some of the
Totally.
simple questions. It's so funny how certain people you just dive straight into the heavy shit.
Yo, I'm so sorry. I'm always
No,
like this.
don't ever apologize for that. I absolutely love that, and that's the type of person I am as well. So that's
Oh, for sure.
with me. But I do, want to get a few things out to make sure viewers are getting the information they need. So tell me a little bit more about your style. How would you
Okay.
describe your tattoo style?
I guess the like broad term is I'm a fine line artist. So I do fine tattoos. Everything is pretty thin, but I like to do large scale, heavily detailed fine line pieces. That's definitely like the vibe. I do anything from floral to anime and manga to surrealism to dragons, snakes, Asian Oriental style, I guess. I do it all as long as it's a set, like it's cool, it's culturally sensitive, and then it's like yeah, if people give me consent, I don't mind. Like I'll do it. It's big.
Love to hear it. Fine line, for sure. And if you have not gotten a chance to check out Seb's Instagram, again, you need to head there right now. She has some amazing work on there. Um, what do you enjoy most about tattooing?
So I really like the people. I feel like that's like a very common thing. I'm pretty extroverted, so I really love talking to people. I love sharing ideas, and I love that I get to be a part of this reclamation of people's bodies. Like people who have self-harm scars or stretch marks or don't feel good about certain body parts. I get to be a part of this process of like, damn, I feel so good in my body right now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I helped do that.
Damn, I've actually never heard it framed like that. I mean, I think that it's all been hinting towards, people, like you said, the reclamation, people reclaim,
Mm-hmm.
whatever traumas,
Mm-hmm.
and how, big or small, however it
Mm-hmm.
impacted them. Having this tattoo either document, their process through that, or just stamp a time in their lives when they were going through something, or
Totally.
to stamp the triumph that they're experiencing in that moment. But I absolutely love the idea of reclaiming. I think that
Oh yeah, it's healing.
yeah, I think I don't ever think that somebody's used that word specifically, so I appreciate you mentioning that. I actually feel like that is part of the reason that I also do this work with podcast, is because it's healing for me to even just talk about this type of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And tattoos have been such a powerful influence in my life, and I think that it is exactly because of the reason that you said. It has
I love that.
to reclaim times where I have felt like I've lost time, I've lost myself, I've lost relationships, and my way of illustrating that experience, but also being able to get that back, forego that grief, and move forward.
100%. Yeah. And I've seen your pictures. You're cute as fuck. Your tattoos are awesome. So they're really tight. No, I love it. I love that you have that expression of yourself. Like, I'm very happy you have that.
Yeah, it's so funny how people, have all these negative associations with tattoos, and they're such, powerful, wonderful, beautiful things.
Totally.
It's
But
just
it's always like that.
when I hear people, still holding on to like the, I don't even know how to say it, because I was about to say like motorcycle Navy stuff, but it's also
Yeah.
but also like that shit is real too, and like people like imagine being in, if we're talking about like West Coast, history of tattoo, like Navy personnel, like I'm sure they were going shit.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And that's their way to reclaim their bodies, and and I think so, I'm hesitant to say, I don't like that people associate it with motorcycle clubs and Navy run things like that, but I think there's power in acknowledging those groups of people and their contribution,
Totally.
to work. But I definitely don't like when people just add, the negative
Stereotypes.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, are we still doing that? It's 2020.
I can't. No, for sure.
Look at me and they're like, wow, like what type of work you do? And I'm like, I'm in education. They're like, no way, you can't be.
Wow.
Like, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I can, and my kids know I'm at it. Like,
Okay.
Your options aren't limited. When if you choose to be a part of this community, and I just want people.
Yeah, and tattooing is an indigenous art too. So I think everyone kind of forgets it comes from like brown and black people.
That's super important to mention. This is an ancient art.
Yes.
Black and brown people have been doing it for
forever,
and with that comes very deep and powerful meanings, rites of passage, all mixed in there. So I think,
like war protection, all the things.
And I think if people knew more of the history, I think less eager to hold on to those negative stereotypes.
I agree. Because I feel like it was a very sacred art, like I feel like a lot of medicine women and men were the ones who did these tattoos. So at one point we actually held them in like, I guess, reverence. Like we actually like put them in a pedestal where it was like, these people are healing our communities and doing tattoos. But now like anything that was sacred is flipped, and anything that was important back then, like women are suddenly being oppressed and like are being like, oh, they're not important, they don't do well in the capitalistic society. So shit's weird.
Fucking weird. So, you were saying, you were mentioning how we in the past have held these medicine men, medicine women in reverence on a pedestal for the role that they played in these, which was a very powerful role, a healing role.
100.
How do you feel about the oversaturation of the tattoo industry now? Because if we're thinking about and comparing that to people who, not tribes didn't have, hundreds of thousands of medicine men and women, that they're trusting, their lives with. It's usually one person who, is mentoring, eventually another single person. You know what I'm saying? Going through these rigorous, test evaluation.
Totally.
It's a study. It is a lifelong commitment. It's a career. What do you think about the oversaturation of the tattoo community now in, as it relates to that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I have an unpopular opinion about this. Everything is unpopular opinion with me, I feel like. So most people actually like really hate it, and I actually don't care. Like I think it doesn't matter to me. I think that the real ones will stay, and if you really make an impact in the community, it will last. It will last through generations. So I think some people need like just aesthetically pleasing tattoos. Someone needs to do just aesthetically pleasing tattoos. Someone, for some reason, needs to do garage tattoos. Someone needs to just be like a famous tattoo artist, a celebrity tattoo artist, right? There's so many multifaceted things about being a human being that I can't tell them that they need to be a healer too. Everyone's on a different journey. They just have a different tool that they're using. It's the same tool as mine. They're just doing it differently. And so I feel like it can be as oversaturated as it wants to be, but like, I'm going to ride it through. I'm going to keep going. And if I don't get noticed right away, I know I will. Like, I know I'll make the changes I want to make. But like, I know it's hard. And I know it's like the get popular quick scheme on Instagram right now is to be a tattoo artist. But like, everything is popular for a while and then everyone falls off. And if you really like this, you'll stick with it. And I'll see you at the end of the road, like, so.
Yeah.
I don't care, man.
I love that. That was hard for me to digest. I was like, what? She doesn't care. But
yeah, I'm the only one.
No, I understand for sure. And I think one of the most important things that you just said is like the people who are supposed to be healers will continue. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
I think my only fear when it comes to that is because I'm working more on the client side.
I see.
Providing referrals, things of that nature. My only concern is clients being, I was about to say tricked, but then
I get what you mean.
Feel like, I'll say what I'm going to say. Clients being tricked by people who are not what they need them to be. But then, now that I'm saying it out loud, that's the client's responsibility to do that research, I feel,
Yeah. And that's why you're dope too, because you are this messenger and you kind of lead people into the right path and be like, hey, like, oh, if you want this kind of tattoo and you want this experience, you should go over here instead of over here. And sometimes you get what you pay for too, so it's dope. Like,
for sure. Let's get into that. Let's get into what you pay for.
My favorite.
20 minutes in, but let's hop right into it. Tell me about
for sure
what your thoughts are about how people view pricing of tattoos.
Okay, so the old school way of pricing tattoos was cheap and fast. I don't really think that way. I think you should take your time and you should charge what you think you should charge that will sustain you. And, man, it sucks, dude. But like as a business, you got to like sustain yourself. And sometimes you got to weed out the people, like with the financial stuff. Like, of course, you can always do like budgets and sliding scales for like certain people, but like, I feel like artists in particular are the only people who are like, I'm just gonna do it for free. And I'm like, no, we're in it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get paid. And if people respect us and they care about this lifelong commitment, it's gonna be in your body forever. They're gonna pay this large sum of money for a short period of time to have something forever, you know? So I feel like if you're paying like a couple, like, I don't know, like a couple thousand on a tattoo, you're going to make a couple thousand in 10 years and you'll still have that tattoo. It's not that bad, you know?
Yes, I think people need to get out of the, feeling of focusing on the now and looking at it, on a larger scale. Like you said, this is a first.
Totally.
And also, we're paying surgeons hundreds of thousands of dollars each year.
Right.
And tattoo artists are doing low-key surgery. Like when you are opening skin and altering it,
yes,
I consider that surgery,
100%.
And for some reason, like you said, people have not associated a similar value to creatives and artists.
Yeah.
I think it's even hard for me as a creative, for somebody who's, there's not too many people who, professionally do consultations and, referrals. Sometimes artists do it for themselves, but some artists just don't have time or, thought space to do that. So, that's an opportunity for me, but
yeah,
it's also, it's been difficult for me to assign a value to my worth as well. And it's so interesting. I don't know. Do you think that that's a society set us up like that? Do you think society has made it so creatives think that way? Or is it some common trait in creatives that, I guess, make us unable to, make us unaware of or intimidated about sharing that?
Totally.
Who do we blame?
Hey, that one's hard because who knows, right? But I think it's both. I think it goes back to the thing of like society took all the important aspects of being a human being, like being creative, and made it worthless. So take the GameStop thing, for example. People made billions of dollars on the GameStop stock market thing. It just shows like how messed up the system is when you can make billions just fucking around on Reddit, and you only make like minimum wage if you like, I don't know, work entry-level jobs. But at the same time, I think creatives want to do stuff for free because it's natural. It's natural to want to make things and not have to put a price tag on things. And it's natural to make things, not have that pressure of making money or that pressure from society. It's just unnatural to have to like put money on something that's natural, if that makes sense.
Oh, I think it 100%. And I also think that that's leading me to, thinking about when we're doing something or creating these things that are natural, we kind of have these expectations of you understand, you, the person who's receiving it, understand just like how I understand how much work, time, and energy I've put in this. You understand the power of this. So I'm expecting you to come with a high, I don't want to say like, basically like a high, like a price exchange.
Like a valuable.
Bringing, yeah. Value you're going to assign to me. I'm trusting you. And I do think that's a little bit too trusting. Like,
me too.
But I think that that's tapping into, our ancient practices. There weren't when there wasn't like a solid currency, and there was exchange of items. Somebody, you're not going to give a medicine woman or medicine man like something worthless after they've saved, a child's life from some, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
You're either gonna be indebted to them for or you're gonna have an exchange and trade them something that's very meaningful and holds a high value. So I also think that there's responsibility on the clients as well.
Agreed.
I've always
like that perspective.
Yeah, I've always been a big tipper when I'm talking about like
we love you.
Yeah, tattoo artists. I'm also the type who, you tell me what the price is for the piece, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Save for it.
Respect.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. I talk when I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
to my clients, is when I'm giving them, the consultation. I also need to know their budget, and if
Mm-hmm.
what they describe to me, if their budget isn't high enough, I tell them I'm gonna encourage you to save for this.
You're right. It's a two-way respect thing because also if you pay a little bit more, your artist will work a little bit harder too. Yeah, but it goes back to the stereotype. Like you said, people see tattooers and tattoos as like dirty and like not a real job. So they're like, why would I pay you X amount, you know?
And it's interesting because even though I kept bringing up, Navy personnel and, motorcycle clubs, things like that, we mentioned that this is an ancient art created by Black and brown people. I'm wondering if that's why the value.
I can't. You're hella funny.
Like
Low-key, high-key.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's always racism is a motherfucker, man. That shit will know itself. They're
It's
like,
everywhere.
They're the ones who can't. It's so
always.
It's so funny how like the differences in the amount that white male tattoo artists get paid and female tattoo artists, tattoo color, queer tattoo artists. It's having an interview the other day, and I mentioned Oba Jackson and Doreen Gardner, and as I was going through their Instagram, just to tell them a little bit more about these people, I noticed that they both have about 26,000 followers. And I was like, as I'm looking at this, I was like, I wonder if that is the ceiling of the number of people who are tolerant to the fact that they speak the fucking truth. Like if you pages, and for those of you watching, if you're not, please make sure that you follow Oba Jackson. His Instagram is Omori, Omoori, and then Doreen's is Flesh and Fluid.
I follow both of those.
So both of these people keep it 100, right? They call out microaggressions, they call out racism, they call out prejudice, they call out everything. And it's just funny that and also their work is amazing. Absolutely.
Yes, very.
If you don't know Oba Jackson, you might not be all the way there.
For sure.
It's amazing, but he only has about 26,000 followers. It's because not a lot of people want to hear the truth.
No, 100%. You're right.
Pictures. They don't want to hear what you have to say about the world. So
right. No, I 100% agree. And I think that goes into like I guess like fragility, people like are so sensitive. And it's like, come on, like shit's wild, it's a wild little tidbit.
It is. I wonder, often how we got here. Sometimes I just have to like remove myself from the present world and just like step back to look around me and what's happening. I'm just like, I often say, wow, how did we get here? Even with things that are going on with COVID right now. Think the coup that happened at the Capitol. There's so there's so I was just like, how did we get here? What the
oh my God. Right.
This life, So
yeah, it's too much. This reality is like a lot.
It's a lot. I do want to step back just a little bit. We were just talking about people assigning like this monetary value to artists' work. It seems as though while money is very important, it doesn't seem as though, from what I'm hearing for you, it's everything for you. So I'm wondering what success looks like for you.
Okay. So I had to unlearn a lot of stuff because money is a really big thing in like the Asian community. And I didn't really have a great relationship with my dad until I made more money. So money is really, really important to me. And so me like becoming the person I've become is really weird. I'm also a Capricorn, which is like the money hungry sign. So like money is very important. But as for success, like you were saying, so success now as I'm getting older looks like leaving behind like a legacy and leaving behind something that my kids and my kids kids and their kids can have something, you know, like it's like generational wealth. It's having the resources, the empowerment to be like, oh, I look like this and I'm okay with that. Like I'm not gonna let you talk down to me. I'm gonna be a powerful person and I'm gonna like I'm gonna run shit, you know. And so there's like this quote by like Dame Dash that's like I know, really weird. I love Dame Dash. um, where he's like cars and money and like women aren't cool. What's really cool is taking care of your family. And that shit like really hit home for me. And I was like, you know, like I've been chasing the wrong things for a really long time. And like I can't eat if my mom and my dad can't eat either, and if the people next to me can't eat. If I can't replicate this system and have it so everyone around me can be successful, I'm not really successful. I'm being selfish. Like I have to make sure everyone can eat, you know,
That's
with
powerful.
boundaries.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
with appropriate boundaries, because you will end up feeding everyone
Mhm.
except yourself. Um,
Yes, yes.
but that's super powerful, and I love that you
Mhm.
want that perspective, because there it's too often that I see, you know, glorified artists who have completely forgot about their, you know, their humanity. And
Mhm.
it's not all about the glitz and glamour and the reality TV, and the celebrities that you're tattooing. You know, it's
Mhm.
there's still things that are more important than that, than social media,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
followers that you have.
Totally.
Um,
100%. I get caught up in that shit all the time. So
Difficult, and that's going back to what we were saying earlier. That's constant work as well. Life is constant work.
mhm.
Every day
Oh
you
yeah.
have to push back against something. You have to
Mhm.
reevaluate and reassess,
Mhm.
reprioritize.
Mhm.
So if you're
No,
not,
I agree.
honestly, I don't know what to tell you, because life,
Yeah, right, right.
if you don't get yourself honestly into that routine of
Mhm.
accepting that this is a lot of fucking work. Living itself is a
Yes.
lot of work.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
I was one of the lucky ones to be allowed, you know, this life and put on this earth.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because of that, that means that I have a responsibility to work my ass off every day. And it's going to be hard,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
community, um,
Totally.
resources, continue to grow and develop so that you can get through this shit, because
Totally. Totally.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
I'm interested to know
Yeah.
a little bit more about you know, your actual tattoo process. So what are some of your favorite products or machines to use?
So I lean very heavily on the Bishop wand. I like love it, but mine is currently out of commission. I need to like send it off and get it fixed because I fucked it up. Um, but as of right now, I'm using my Cheyenne. I'm I like really like wands. It's really good for fine line stuff. Yeah, I would say that those are my two machines I go to, but Bishop is like my favorite right now. And as for inks, I guess I use Dynamic for black and then Intense for colors, and yeah. And as for maybe like the balm, I make my own balm. I use like a natural vegan shea butter CBD one that I make. I'm always hella extra. Got to do all
Oh,
do the most.
absolutely love it. And I'm loving the, you know, the CBD, you know, ingredient as well. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
instead of all of these, you know, artificial or synthetic chemicals that people are making in you know, numbing creams and sprays, I definitely think
Totally.
something natural like CBD is very helpful.
Yeah, and it's easier for some people. Some people actually feel a little bit less pain from it. It varies because some areas just suck no matter what you put on it. So like I've noticed that it has helped with swelling, especially if you're using natural products without, like you said, weird ingredients like artificial ingredients. You're still opening a body, and the least you could do is like make sure what goes in it is cool,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna put my order in for that because I have some
I got you.
large scale tattoos coming up, and I'm like, oh, I need something.
For sure. For sure. I'll send it to you. Yeah. The CBD is woman owned. But it's cool. It helps. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is the best interview
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, thanks. You're the best. I appreciate you.
What do you recommend as far as aftercare? Are you recommending the balm as well for aftercare? Do you have something else?
Yeah. Totally. You can use my balm, but I don't super push my products onto people because I don't want to like. It sucks. I'm very businessy, but at the same time, I'm trying to be a human and not be too much. But I stay on the natural side. I like shea butter. I like coconut oil. I like very natural ingredients. You can use just like CBD, like lotions, But if you're gonna use something that you can't get those natural things, you can just use like Lubriderm or like Cetaphil. I like the thinner lotions than Aquaphor. I'm not a big Aquaphor fan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you the type of artist who will like put Tegaderm on your clients afterwards, or are you like a open air, dry healer? What are your thoughts
I'm
on?
like a hardcore like Tegaderm and Sanoderm fan. So yeah, as long as they're not allergic, I will slap that on everybody.
No,
Big
my
fan.
best tattoos have been Sanodermed, Tegadermed. It's honestly the way to go. I mean, I just feel like you're giving that area like it's a private. When something goes through trauma, because that's what it is, right? You're injuring,
it is trauma. You're right.
yeah, when you're injuring this area of your skin, opening it up, allowing it to have its own place, kind of separated from elements, from friction, whatever else for it to heal.
Totally.
Honestly, the best. So it's just so interesting when I don't see artists use that. I'm like, tell me your reason, because some people are avid, like dry heal,
Oh, interesting.
and I'm like, that is very interesting, but tell me why.
Right.
In their experience, some people have said, in my experience, it works better for my style. Or certain people, if I've spoken to some artists who do like realism, and their work doesn't tend to scab very bad, so they like there's a need for the Sanoderm. But
yeah,
I'm pro Sanoderm.
Yeah, literally same. Yeah, and because I do fine line, it's so easy for the line to break. So Sanoderm really like keeps it in there, so you don't have to get as many touch-ups. So it's nicer.
Sure. You're making me think of a question that we had the other day on one of my pages. Somebody was asking about like the science behind like spreading. So I'm sure as like a fine artist, that's something you have a lot of experience in. Is it about the technique in which the ink is applied? Is it about the type of the ink? I've heard it about the dilution of the ink. Tell us a little bit more about that experience of having your tattoo line get thicker as it heals.
So there's a lot of things that come into play with this. So the science behind it, right, is that you have these levels of skin, like the derma, and you as a tattoo artist have to tattoo within the first 3 or 4 layers of the derma. And if you go too deep, which is easy with fine line because it's so sharp, you get into the fat, which causes blowouts, right? And it spreads. And that's where blowouts start. But the natural spreading, like when you see like people have little quotes and they get like, well, sometimes it's just your skin. Sometimes it's the technique. It's so many things. Like maybe it's you've been in the sun too much. It's just so many different things and like variables that it's kind of hard to tell. And with fine line, you try to like stay very up those layers so that it doesn't spread or it spreads slower. And like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's very important for our viewers to hear, because it's not one there's not one solution, to prevent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you can't prevent it because there's so many different variables at play here.
Totally. It's more common with inexperienced people, but sometimes like older people, like people who are in their 60s or older, have a lot thinner skin. So you have to be like, it's like trying to put a needle on tissue paper. Like you're trying not to rip that shit, like I know that sounds hella nasty, but yeah, like sometimes you have to be really, really like careful because everyone's skin is different. Like a construction worker who's out in the sun a lot will have thick, like hard skin, and you have to like jam that shit in there. And it's different, everyone's different.
For sure. And I think that your ability to, evaluate each client individually, speaks to your professionalism and your knowledge.
Thanks.
So
I appreciate that.
I'm curious to know what your biggest pet peeve is as an artist. What's something that irritates the hell out of you? Is it the entourage? When people are like, yeah, I brought all my friends to watch you. Is it the person who jerks all the time? Is it the one who takes breaks? Is it what's your pet peeve?
Damn, I don't. That was hard because I have a lot, but like I can't remember a lot of them. I'm so easily irritable.
That I keep.
Yeah, right. But I guess the one that happened to me most recently, I guess, is when people like don't take my no as an answer and they keep pushing my boundaries. Like if I'm like, hey, I don't feel comfortable like doing that, or like, hey, like I don't think I'm the right artist for this. Like I've had like 3 people in the last couple weeks who are like, oh, well, what if I did this? Like, just like pushing the crap out of my boundaries. And I was just like, yo, like, this isn't chill. Like, you're making me uncomfortable. And I'm in a position where I feel like I need to serve you. And so like, it sucks for me if people look down on me and is like, oh, you're just a service person. And I'm like, I'm a fucking person. I'm not a printer. I'm not going to print this tattoo on you. And it's, like, I don't know, like, it's like dehumanizing me a little bit.
Machine, like how you said, like a printer. You just they're making you as if you're a machine and you just take instruction. No, you're a human being with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So
totally,
that's so important, and that's so violating. No means no. And
totally.
I'm wondering. Oh, we're back to it. I'm wondering if you were a man, if that would still be something that you're experiencing.
Totally.
But because you're female, because you're a person of color, maybe people feel like, no, you're gonna do what I want you to do. I just think that's so. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I really hope people who are watching this are committing to being in the habit of checking that shit and making sure that's not what it is.
No, I agree. And like, okay, luckily I have really good clients. They're very good about like mostly being very chill with my boundaries and being very respectful. But I also feel like because I'm an Asian person and an Asian woman, there's a stereotype about Asian women being very like submissive and like subservient, I guess. And so like people expect me to like not complain, not say anything, not speak up, and just do what they want me to do. And like I'm Asian, but I'm from California. I'm gonna say some shit to you. Like I'm like currently in Oakland, so I'm just like, no, like absolutely the fuck not. Like, so.
And it's fucking 2020. We are not in the era where women were put in positions where we had to be subservient to our husbands, where some of us have husbands, where we're our damn self, and I'm making the rules for my life, and if I don't want to fucking do it, I'm not gonna do it.
Right, 100%. People are so funny because also if you're like nice and you're respectful, I'm more willing to do stuff for you too. So like if you're chill, I'll be chill. But if you're being weird, I'm gonna be weird. Like if you get what you reflect,
Yes, if you want to take it there, we can take it there.
100%. Like I got the levels. I'll bring it up. Like
Absolutely. What can we catch you listening to in the studio?
So I have a very wide range of music, but like for the sake of tattooing, I usually only listen to R&B, like alternative R&B, like like I would say lyrical hip hop, like that's more chill, like more like Joey Badass, Chance the Rapper energy. And then for R&B, it's more like Ari Lennox, like SZA, like, you know, like very chill. Like people are going through trauma, so the least I can do is put very chill music on. But when I'm by myself in the studio, it's like all over the damn place. It's like everything is playing at the same time. So
For sure, for sure. I like the
yeah.
diversity. What
Thanks.
advice would you give someone looking to get their first tattoo?
What advice?
Someone getting their first tattoo. What piece of advice would you give them?
Okay. I get a lot of first timers, so I get this question a lot. So it's a very good question. So I would say you need to do your research. You need to make sure that you like your artist and your artist has, if they don't like have a personality on Instagram, that's fine. You have to really like their work and you have to see healed work. You need to see healed work. And if healed work looks good, then this is a good artist. But everybody can edit fresh tattoos, right? Um,
The
but the
end
other,
crazy to me now. Like
oh,
that's
it's
how I
wild.
honestly know we're living in the future because the shit
Mm-hmm.
I'm like sometimes it's so believable, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you see, something on like Tattoo Truth Fairy Instagram
Oh
and
yeah.
which I absolutely love. Shout out to them.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Oh, that shit doesn't look like that at all,
At
Or in a
all.
couple of weeks healed. It
Mm-hmm.
anything like
At all. And you'll pay like so much money for like some shitty tattoo. It's not worth it, you know? Like, but yeah, do your research, see the healed work. And like, if you have certain values you align to, hopefully that person aligns with your values as well. And my biggest thing usually for women, because I get a lot of women clients, is you need to have someone who will ask your consent. Like this person needs to be consensual and like needs to ask if it's okay to touch your body and like to do things to you. It's a it's a huge thing.
gosh, yo,
Mm-hmm.
my mind is blown because like this is the first interview that anyone has ever said that shit, and that's
Oh my God, really?
yeah, but like it's interesting because that's just something that lives in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal to me. I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing this with you, but the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it's never been said out loud
Wild.
is wild. Consider
Mm-hmm.
how huge, how
It's
fucking
huge. It's huge. It's already people are expecting a lot from women and like there's already so much like sexual abuse cases and stuff like that. You're letting someone touch your body and you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to be like, "Yo, you're making me feel weird. I don't want to finish this tattoo with you." You know? Like you're allowed to be like, "Nah, like this is uncomfortable." And I've had way too many client stories like from clients who are like, oh, this dude like pressed his junk on me while he was doing my back piece and like, or like trying to like ask me to take off my shirt when I had an arm piece, you know, like weird shit. Like it sucks because you have to unlearn that and be like, oh, you're right. That is weird. Like that's weird that he or they made me do that. You know what I mean? Because it could be a woman. A woman could be being weird too, you know, like, so there's a lot of things, you know?
ooh,
Yeah.
my mind is just racing. So many things we could go on and on for another.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We're vibing.
So we're having we've I feel like we've opened Pandora's box a little bit. We've been talking about some of the difficult shit that there is to face in the tattoo industry, and I don't want to leave people with a negative taste in their mouth. We talk about the fact that tattooing is trauma. Like you're through the skin that's in your body. It has to heal after that. Talks about all like the crazy shit that people do to violate clients or artists,
Yeah,
whatever way that goes. But I
totally.
want to kind of sum it up for people and kind of redefine like what I think we're trying to get at, because the name of the show is Ink Therapy for a reason. Tattooing is very therapeutic. It's very it's a healing experience. So I'm curious to know from your perspective, in what ways is tattooing therapeutic for you as the artist? And then also I'm curious to hear your perspective as a client, as obviously you have a lot of work as well. How it's been therapeutic in that way.
So as an artist, it's very therapeutic to be able to create very freely and to let somebody like somebody like took my art and like is wearing that every day. Like that's very intense, and like I'm so thankful that someone likes me that much, you know. So there's a lot of therapy in being able to connect and exchange and have this space that like, hey, I see you and you see me and we're honoring each other when it's a good exchange, you know. It is still a beautiful exchange. So I'm very thankful for like really, really good conversation and really good clients and cool pieces, you know, like it's like, I'm very thankful for that. And then I think as a client, I guess it goes back to like reclaiming my body, you know, I get to decide who I am. I get to decide like what I look like. You don't get to decide anymore. I get to say like, this is on my body, you know? There, I just feel like there's so much, I guess, shadow work and trauma that happens that when you get tattoos, it's almost like you're releasing it. You're going through all this pain and you're feeling it, all this like physical pain. And then you get this reward at the end. It's very rewarding. And it's very like, damn, I did that shit. Like I sat through like a couple hours. Some people sit for like 6 hours. Like, it's like, I'm really like that one. Like, so it's wild for sure. And it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. We're going to shift into one of the most fun parts of the show, and that is a game portion. Today, with Sebs, I've chosen this or that, which is kind of self-explanatory. But you know, I will give
Exciting.
Some instructions. So I'm going to give her two options, either this or that, and she can choose only one. Afterwards, she has the option to explain herself or just leave it up to the interpretation of our viewers. So
sounds good.
Right into it. So, studio or tattoo shop?
Studio.
Baths or showers?
Oh. Showers. I like fast things. I just want to get it over with. I want to be clean and done. Like
It's funny because when I was coming up with these, I was, asking myself these questions. And I was like, I really don't like baths because it's like you're just sitting in the dirt, like, or I only like hot, like the purpose of a bath is for it to be hot. It's just weird when I see people take ice baths like that. But then if it's hot, then you're sweating and then you're getting more dirt. It's complicated. It's just very complicated.
Right, like how do you clean while you're in it? Like it's weird. Like
it's weird. Sorry, I think bath is for muscle relaxation, not for cleaning.
Agreed, 100%.
All right, we're on the same page as far as that. Color or black and gray?
For me or as an artist?
As an artist.
That one's hard. It depends on the day. But I like black and gray with pops of color. I know that's like not one or the other, but I don't like full color, but I like black and gray with like red or something, you know? That's my shit.
All right. Netflix or
Hulu? Ooh, I like Netflix better, but I think Hulu has better shows, but their UI sucks dick.
That shit. Okay, so we'll go with Netflix.
Yeah, we'll go Netflix.
Or because Hulu has better shows, do they win?
I'll go with Netflix. I just keep going to Netflix anyways.
Music or podcasts?
While I'm working or in general?
While you're working.
I like music. Music's chill.
bright colors or dark colors?
Man, that's hard. I actually really like bright colors. I like them even though I don't really get them myself.
Hot tones, yeah. Reds.
Mm-hmm.
Inside or outside?
Depends on the season, but I prefer to be outside. I like nature. I like being in my garden, so it's chill.
Awesome. What are you growing in your garden? This is completely not in the game.
The fun one I'm growing marijuana because it's legal here. Yeah, California's cool. The taxes suck for weed, but yeah. But I'm also growing vegetables. I think when COVID hit, I was like, I'm not trusting the government with food. I'm not trusting them with anything, and I grew hella food and stuff. So it's a vegetable garden.
Love it. Please send me some pictures of your
Oh yeah, I got you. I hella got you.
Mag or liner? This is gonna be obvious for you.
Yeah, total liner, everything. Even my shading is with a liner.
Phone call or text?
Text. Don't call me.
Weird. It's weird. I feel like you're invading my space. I just feel like with the text,
like I
can choose to
totally
when I'm
100%.
going to, how I'm going to, you know.
Yeah. And like when is my off time? Like if you're always gonna call me, like shit, leave me alone.
The term tattoo artist or tattooist?
I like tattoo artists because I think I was a regular artist first, so just putting tattoo in front felt more natural.
Boom. Pool or open ocean?
Ooh, ocean. Chlorine is bad for your tattoos.
True. Stencil or freehand?
I use stencil, but I hella wish I was a freehand person. I just do not have the like. I can't do it.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Big party or small gathering?
Ooh, I like small gatherings. I don't do very well in large spaces.
Swimming or sunbathing?
Swimming, 100%. I like the water a lot.
Juice or water is our last one.
Oh wow. Water. That's hella plain, but juice sometimes is too sweet for me, and I feel like I'm gonna die.
Even not like concentrated juice, like natural fresh squeeze.
Oh, natural's cool. I don't mind natural, but like for some reason, if I drink like watermelon juice, I always get a sugar rush headache. So I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna drink water.
Very sweet, yeah. I'm a water fan as well. I grew up as a baby drinking water, which apparently is not a very common thing for parents.
It's not. That's really funny.
And it should be. It should be common.
I love it. Water. I love it. I'm so here for that.
You know, it's just healthy. You know, our body needs a lot of water, and so
for sure, you're like 70% water or something. You know.
Right. Maybe we'd have less health problems if.
Oh yeah.
Water at a young
age. Yeah, 100%. Water, sun, vegetables.
Disclaimer, I'm not.
100%. Yeah, for surely.
Well, Sebs, thank you so much. I appreciate
thank you
time and space for this important conversation. There are so many times during this conversation where my mind is just blown. I appreciate, your ability to just call shit out and say what the fuck it is, how it is. Very straight up. So I'm very thankful for this time that we've spent together. Again, if you do not follow Sebrina, make sure you follow her at Sebrina Pham. She's based in Oakland, California. Do you travel?
I do. Once COVID is chill, I'll be out everywhere again.
That's great to hear that you're waiting till after COVID is chill, because Atlanta is having a convention in March.
Wild. I know. Y'all be crazy. It's the wild, wild west out there.
Honestly, it's just some bald-headed hoe shit that's going on. And I am disappointed every time I get a post or notification from Bill and Arts. Yes, I'm calling y'all out.
You're hella funny.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, we'll see. But again, make sure you follow Sebrina, amazing fine line artist in Oakland, California. Shout out to our sponsors again, Bangin' Candles and Dark Skin Tattoo Tips Instagram page.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
We want to share with our viewers before we peace out of this bitch.
I just want to thank you. You've been super chill and super awesome. Thanks for entertaining my bullshit.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you for reciprocating that as well, because I got a lot of shit to share.
Hey, I'm that one, so I got you. But yeah, no, you've been super amazing. Like, you're such a great interviewer. You're super amazing. I love what you're doing with dark skin tattoo tips, and I really think you could really make a change in the tattoo industry. I mean, you already are. Like, the page is blowing up. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday. For real.
For sure. This is going to be the first of many conversations, so I'll make sure
to please
not call you. And
you can. It's fine.
No, I prefer text also.
Bet. Yeah.
So
yeah, please, yeah.
First of many, so definitely look out for that communication. When COVID chills, I definitely want to have a roundtable discussion with a few artists.
Yeah.
So
I'll definitely be in Atlanta too.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, my partner wants to live there, so we gotta check it out.
Besides the bald-headed ghetto host shit that's happening with COVID.
Right. It's the hustler capital, so yeah.
Let me know if you need a tour guide. I got y'all.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, love. Enjoy your day.
You too.
So much.
Yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Peace.
Bye.